I think a good last will and testament for the purposes of estate planning has a few things. Now, I'm not here today to pitch legal services, but I think, importantly, a good last will and testament was drafted by an attorney. The reason is an estate planning attorney will know that it was done correctly, or at least a competent one will know it was done correctly, so that you can rest easy and your loved ones can rest easy that whoever was supposed to get the stuff, at least if that stuff still exists when they passed away, will get it. That being said, a good last will and testament will have details. Who is the person who passed away? What is their name? What is their address? What is their telephone number? Although it doesn't need to be included in the last will and testament, how are we going to get a hold of these beneficiaries later? In my opinion, a last will and testament has enough detail to ensure that we can locate the beneficiaries and that we know what the beneficiaries are going to receive. Now, it could be real easy. You want your children, your 2, 3, 4 children, to have your entire estate in equal shares. Okay, well, what are your children's names? Where do they live? Give us the addresses. Do you have your children's telephone numbers? Do you have your children's email addresses? How is an attorney, and perhaps not even the original attorney who drafted the will, or even your loved ones, going to get a hold of the people you want to have your stuff? So a good will for estate planning has enough detail to ensure that whoever's going to help you later can locate these people. Then how about your assets? I think a good last will and testament, or at least a good estate planning attorney, is going to ask you questions about where these assets are located. Someone calls me and says, George, I have 10 bank accounts. I want them all to go to my daughter. I say, great. I'll make sure that your 10 bank accounts go to your daughter on your last will and testament. Now, I'm not going to include account numbers and bank account names in the last will and testament, but there needs to be some follow-up here. Because how are we going to ensure that later, when you've passed away, we know where all these bank accounts are? There are hundreds of banks. You could have used a local bank. You could have used a national bank. So what you could do is something called a separate writing. In the state of Florida, you can say, I give my entire estate to my 3 children, and I incorporate in my last will and testament this summary of dispositions. We call this a separate writing. And as long as your separate writing can describe with sufficient specificity, that's the way it's written, what type of asset you're trying to transfer and who is going to receive it, then you can have that incorporated into your last will and testament. This is what I recommend to a lot of clients. You have 10 bank accounts? List them all out on a piece of paper, and I create a schedule for them to list them all out. Give me the bank name, give me the last 4 of the account number, give me the approximate value and the date of that approximate value, and who you want it to go to. Tell me the address of that person. If you have their email address and telephone number, that would be wonderful. Because how am I going to locate them later when you pass away? I can't ask you. So a good last will and testament not only meets the requirements under Florida law, but goes above and beyond. The will is self-proved, so it's notarized, it was signed properly, and it ensures it has enough detail in there to be able to know who is going to get what, how do we locate them, has enough information to be able to locate them, and then has enough description of the assets that we're planning on giving them. And the will itself doesn't have to have that, but maybe you have a separate binder, my estate planning binder, and this is why to come full circle here, it's important to have an estate planning attorney, is because we do all that for you. So that when you pass away, because Elon Musk and all these people haven't figured out yet how to live forever, so we're all going to pass away. But when you pass away, we want to make the process as easy as possible on your loved ones. And that's the goal with estate planning.